This is Bye Bye Money, and I wanted to do a video going over my NinjaTrader settings. These settings I've made, configured to best fit my trading style, and so hopefully this could be helpful for you. I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna go over how to set up charts, indicators, workspaces. Go over to chart trader to make a order with a scalp+runner. Going to go over my hotkeys. So when you begin, you want to first actually create a workspace. I have two already, but we'll make a new one for the sake of this video. I'll call it NinjaTrader Settings. Now as you can see, my chart disappeared because that was in a different workspace. This is a new workspace. And in this workspace, I want to create a chart. And to create a chart, go to New and click Chart. Click the chart, click your instrument, and let's go with the ES. And I will make it a 2000 tick chart. Make sure the type is set to tick and the value set to 2000 or whatever value you want. And also the plot executions, I keep it at do not plot. If you have text and marker, this will show you on the screen every single trade that you've made, and I think that clutters your screen. I think it's good if you want to go back to study, but when you're live trading, all that clutter can mess up your analysis. So also one last thing before pressing OK. Right now, as you see here, it says load template only, and it's set to default. I actually have a default setting, so it's going to load up a certain template. I'm going to press none here so we get a blank chart, and I'll explain this a little bit later. Press OK, then you get a blank chart, and you're like, where are my candle bars? They're invisible. Well, it's because the price range you're in, I don't know why NinjaTrader does this, but it puts you on some random price range, and you have to kind of zoom out, find your chart, find your candles, and now, voila, you have your chart. Now here, you want to add some indicators. To go and add an indicator, you go to this fittingly looking zigzag, which is actually a two-legged pullback, ABC pattern, funny as that is. Click that, and now you get your list of indicators. On the top left, these are all the indicators that you have, all the ones provided by NinjaTrader and some custom ones that I've made. And I like to add 3 indicators. The first one is the 20 EMA. I do this because Al Brooks uses this, and over his many 30 years of experience, he says there's plenty of reactions that happen off of the 20 EMA, so he uses that to his advantage. And I make sure also for myself that my color of my indicator will be blue, and it's blue because nothing else on the screen is blue. So I want to make sure that this indicator doesn't interfere with my candles, or also so I can see distinctively the indicator. So I'll go ahead and apply that. So now you see on the chart a 20 EMA. I also like to add the 240 SMA. Oh, also small quick note is if you just click in this available screen, instead of scrolling all the way through find your indicator, if you know the name of the indicator, you can just click it, click anywhere, and then you can type in quickly, and it'll go straight to it. So if you type in SMA, it'll go straight to it. If you type too slow, it'll treat each character as like its own search, so you gotta type it kind of quick. I'll add my SMA, the 240 SMA. As you can see here, it's 240. Also, when it gets down here, this means that it's on your chart. On the right side, once it's in your chart, you can configure it, and you can click on which one you want to figure. So if I click this one, it says 20 because it's the EMA. Here's 240. Also here, I keep the same color, but I make this one dashed so I can tell the difference between my SMA and EMA quickly. Go ahead and apply that, and you can see down here now we have the 240 SMA. And lastly, and most importantly for me, is my SuperScript. I'm going to add my SuperScript here, and um, the SuperScript is a custom indicator that I made, and basically it counts legs for you and also tells you what kind of legs there are, because not every leg is created equal, and also adds some stuff, adds a tick counter close to the bar, so you don't have to keep glancing down to a different spot to see the tick count, and also yeah, a couple more features that I'll go into once I add it. And I also created some alerts of some setups that I like to make sure I don't miss them. And I have an alert for a failed two-legged pullback, and this alert happens before the failed two-legged pullback happens. The alert essentially goes off when there is a potential failed two-legged pullback and the price is kind of close to it. It lets me know and gives me alert. And same thing with a second pullback, which is a trade I like to do with context, of course, and also the classic two-legged pullback bouncing off the EMA. So those are my couple setups that I always look for. So I have alerts for them, and that's good if you are working, if you have like a full-time job, and you can't be staring at the charts all day. When these alerts go off, it kind of lets you know, okay, so you go and look at your chart, see if these alerts are happening in a good area. I'll go ahead and press OK on that. I'm not gonna put the alerts on because I don't want to keep ringing, but I'll press OK, and you can see now on the screen there's a bunch of numbers everywhere. The numbers are the count of the legs, and they're color coded to what kind of legs there are. So you have in price action trading, essentially in my mind, three types of legs. You have a second entry, which is a two-legged, or there's I guess many types of legs, but the three significant ones for me are the second entry, which is the entry after a two-legged pullback, and that happens with a green zero, dark green zero, or a dark red zero. The dark green zero two-legged pullbacks or second entries long, and red ones are second entries short. The other numbers, when you go to like 1, 2, 3, 4, and above, those are the count of the pullback, and so those are also significant if you want to know how many pullbacks there have been. For instance, there has been there were eight pullbacks before a pivot low went lower than a previous pivot low, and so you can kind of see, man, there's been 8 pushes upwards before it even went down, and it's not until here it actually went, and it was a nice two-legged pullback right here, A, B, C, or first pullback, first entry, second pullback, second entry, and it was beautifully off the 20 EMA, which would be good for scalp plus more. So that's why the indicator is nice to have, so you can see all these things. So and lastly and most importantly in my mind are traps. I say they're most important because they're probably the highest probable trade in the right context. So my traps are colored magenta. No matter what leg they're in, doesn't matter. If it's a trap, I color magenta so I do not miss it. And so that's everything. That's all kind of retro information to help you, know where you are. But my SuperScript also tells me some forward-looking information. So as I mentioned, there's a tick counter, which is here, and this changes color as the number gets lower. So if it gets to 200 or lower, changes yellow. If it gets to 50 or lower, changes red, and that helps me be able to time my stop entries if I want to go in, like on the next candle. And here, this diamond with a number. This diamond shows you the trigger point, and the trigger point is always one tick below the signal bar, and the signal bar is always the bar prior to the current bar. So this is always placed exactly where you need to put your stop order if you want to enter into a trade. That's what the diamond is for. It's especially because if you're doing orders through your chart, you need to be able to quickly figure out where to put your stops, because the price action can move unexpectedly at any moment. So it's good to have a visualization right there. Also, the number here tells you what leg count it will be if it does touch this trigger. So if it goes down and touches this, that means up here a red 0 will appear, and that signifies, or that notifies you to let you know that you are on the first pullback. Or in this case, because also it tells you the color, dark red, remember dark red zeros are two-legged pullbacks or second entries, so this means that this will be a second entry. So A, B, C, and second entry. So the two-legged pullback right here, and then it will be a second entry. Now these don't tell you if it's a good second entry or not, it just tells you it is a second entry. And to find out if it's a good second entry or not, according to context, that is up to you to decide. But the script will tell you every single leg count and two-legged pullback, every pullback, and trap that there is. So that's it for the SuperScript. Let's go ahead and talk about templates. If you right click, you can go and find this templates, and you can do couple options here. You can save as default, which makes it so the current setup you have here with, for me, these three indicators. That means every time I make a new chart, it will have as default those three indicators. Or you can do save as. I'll do save as so we can see, and I'll just say NinjaTrader Settings and press save. And so if you go back to your control center and go to new and then chart, and you create a new chart in this workspace, let's say I want to create the MES chart at 400 ticks. If I just press OK right now, remember up here, this is where you select what template. So right now it's on default, but I want to select the template I just made. So if you go here, you can see that there is a NinjaTrader setting templates here. And so if I click this and if I press OK, this will open up a new chart with, scroll, zoom out again, with all my indicators, and I didn't have to add them. If I didn't select that, then this again will be a blank chart. But because I have that template saved, we're able to have all the indicators automatically put up here. So I'm going to X that out. That was just to show an example. And let's talk about workspaces. Workspaces for NinjaTrader are an amazing thing, but they could be a little confusing if you've never worked with workspaces before. I'll just tell you, when I first used NinjaTrader, I thought it was so frustrating, because typically when you use a platform, if you want to exit the platform, you just X the chart out, close it all out, and then you reopen it, and thinking that perhaps there is a way to have your chart saved, and it just kept losing all my charts, and I had to keep setting everything up again, and I was getting so frustrated. And that's because I didn't realize that NinjaTrader platform is a workspace model. And what that means is that it uses workspaces as the way to set up your charts and whatever setups you want. And so so let's go to workspaces. Here I'm going to save this workspace, and as you see, I have 3 workspaces. So if I want to go to another workspace, if I click this current chart will disappear, and it will show me the most recent kind of view I had in this workspace, which looks like this. Looks kind of crazy because I was doing charting here. So we go back to the control center, and I'll go back to my workspace, and now I'm back to this workspace. So it kind of helps you organize all your charts nicely. And so if you do want to close NinjaTrader, do not close the chart. close the control center. And then when you reopen NinjaTrader, your workspace will be saved, and this chart will come back up, and everything will be up and running as you had everything last kind of viewed or set up. So that's kind of like the workspace idea. For those who are sim trading, if you want to make your sim trades as accurate as possible, I recommend that you add commissions to your sim trading. I have my real account down here, which you can see I've been trading a little bit, but the one up here is a sim account, and the sim account I can't get rid of it. It's just there all the time. So it would be good to show an example here. So I'm going to right click here, and if you want to add the commissions, go to edit account, and you can see here commissions. Right now I have it currently set to lifetime because I was practicing, but default is at none, and you want to set it to whatever commissions that is good for you. And if you're planning to buy the lifetime license, then practice with the lifetime commissions. Press OK, and now you have commissions with your trading. Okay. This is when it gets a little more advanced. So I'm going to create my actual scalp order. In order to do that, that's a scalp+runner order. In order to do that, you need to open the chart trader. If you go up here to the top, it's the 5th icon from the right, chart trader. Click it, you want to open the chart trader. My color is blue because if you have a live trading account, they make the sim account blue, so you can tell the difference, so you're not accidentally trading in the wrong account. Now here, if you want to create a scalp+runner strategy, go to ATM strategy and press custom. Now this brings up a window to set up your order. Let's say I want to make a order with 3 scalps and 1 runner. So if you want to do that, you actually have to have an order quantity of 4, 3 for the scalp, 1 for the runner. I have it good to cancel, and also the parameters, make sure it's ticks. And so here you can see that this target 1 is grayed out. That's because I only have 1 target, but I want to have 2 targets because I want to have a runner. So now when I add another bracket, it will give me, it will ungray out and allows me to edit. So I want to change this to 3, and because target 1 will be my scalp, so I'm going to set this up as if it's just a 3 scalp. My stop loss, I'm going to put it 8 ticks away because I set it to ticks, so these are counted by ticks, which is 2 points, and I want a profit of 1 point, which is 4 ticks. And I put 8 ticks away. It's kind of arbitrary because you're just have to readjust it afterwards anyways, because typically you put it 1 point above your signal bar, above or below your signal bar. And sometimes I like to scale in if the context is good. And so I manipulate this a lot, but I just make sure it's far away enough from the order where I can actually manipulate it without it triggering. If you put like 1 tick away, then it might just trigger right away. So make sure it's far enough so you can readjust it. And target 2 will be your runner. And so I'll actually put the same stop loss here, and by doing so, this will actually combine the stop losses to 1 order, and I will make the profit 16 here, which is about 4 points, which is 4 points away, 16 ticks, 4 ticks per point. So make sure you save this, and I'll call this, let's say, scalp plus runner, and I'll save this. Press OK, and now, as you see here, you can select whatever template you've saved. I will select the scalp+runner, and now if I put an order in, whatever order you put in now, so this is my sim account, so let's go ahead. For example's sake, if I want to put an order up here because there's this potential trap right here, as you can see, with a 3 and a diamond, or with a magenta 3, you can see that if the price hits this, it will be a trap. It will trigger the trap. And so this lets me know a trap is coming up if it does hit it. And so I'll set this up. I'll right click here and I will put a buy stop market here,
Order submitted.
and you can see it says it's 4 buy stop. That's because my order quantity is 4 with this strategy. And so if the price does hit, it will break into the order. I will let it hit so you can see how it splits up. And so let's put it somewhere we can trigger for me. So now you see that 1 point away from the entry, this little icon here shows you the entry point, which is break even, and without commissions. This is the 1 point scalp, and up here is the runner. And as you can see, both the scalp and the runner share the same stop here. But once this hits, if this hits, then there will be one stop left over for the limit here. And so, who knows, we might actually get a hit here, but I'm going to actually change it. So you can click this, and if you click this, you can change your stop anywhere you want. So, I just put my stop here, and make sure when you click it, you left click it once, and then it makes it so you can move, and then you click again to place it. Make sure when you do click that you click on the right side of this little flag, because if you click on the left side of the flag, you actually will get an option to change the amount of orders. So I don't want to do that. I want to move it. So make sure you click towards the right side of this flag. And that's the same with the limits. I can change my runner to whatever I think would be a good place to put it. But how about this? I'll go ahead and trigger this so you can see my runner left over. And I'll just put it here. If it'll trigger, who knows? Okay, let's put it here. Should trigger automatically. And now you can see left over, I have one sell limit and one stop. So I have my runner left over. And here, typically I would go to break even plus commissions. So one tick above break even. But yeah, that'll just trigger the stop. So I'll just do it anyways. Well, you can't do it. So I'm going to actually go ahead and close this order so we can move on. So that is the order. And of course, you can change that to however you want. So for me, I also have hotkeys. I'll go and show you my hotkeys. And to get there, you go to Tools, and you go to hotkeys. So sorry, you go to your control center. Make sure you bring your control center up. Go to Tools and go to hotkeys. And here you have access to all your hotkeys. I have my 4 top most used trading or charting tools aligned up on my function keys, F2 through F5, and I just line them up so I know where they all are. F2 is set to trend channel because I use that the most. F3 is horizontal line. I use that second most, so I put it at F3. F4 is just a line with 2 endpoints, and F5, which is it's an array, which is an extended array. And so those are my top, top 4 charting tools I use. So I just make sure they're all lined up, so I don't have to think and figure out where they all are. And also for me, this was a personal game changer. My order entry. You can set up your order entry to be to set up with hotkeys. So I have a hotkey set up. So if I press it, which is Alt-R, it creates a buy stop order 4 ticks above the current price. So that's 1 point. Alt-F creates a sell stop order 4 ticks below the current price, 1 point below the current price, and also have ones for limit orders and sell limit for my buy limit and my sell limit, 1 tick above and below the current price. And this is important for me personally because when it comes to price action trading, sometimes you need to put your orders in very quickly. And if you don't have these hotkeys set up, what you would have to do is, okay, look at the chart, figure out where you want to put your order, right click it. If I didn't have this this indicator tell you exactly where to, you would actually have to look for a signal bar, find one tick above it, right click it, and then go and place a, read these options. Which one am I going to put? I don't know. Well, after reading it, I figure out it's this one,
Order
and I
submitted.
place my order. But if you have a hotkey, what you can
Order
do
canceled.
is I'll press my hotkey Alt, which is Alt R. Alt R
Order
brings up the
submitted.
order 1 point above the current price, and I just drag it up to where I need to go. And I figure that's just much quicker, much easier than to right click and figure out the options. Especially if this price action is so time sensitive, it's very important to be able to do this quickly. So that's it for my hotkeys. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. God